Hi loves, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we made it to theatre review number 30 and I've got a really sore throat and a high temperature. Yeah, we're gonna plough through because I really want to talk about this show. 2 days after I saw Guys and Dolls back in May, I saw a Bush Theatre production which was called August in England. The show was written and performed by Lenny Henry, and I bought the tickets as a surprise for my mum because my mum has always loved Lenny Henry and I thought she'd love to see him on stage. And we left the show that night completely deep in thought. Quite frankly, the show had a profound impact on the people in the room, and I'm so glad that I was able to see it and that I'm here talking to you about it now. So, as always, let's delve into the synopsis, shall we? Charming, flawed, and with the gift of the gab, we all know a man like August Henderson. Between his 3 kids, devoted wife-to-be, and part ownership of a fruit and veg shop, he is proud of the life he has built since landing in his beloved West Bromwich. So when faced with deportation to a country he has no memory of, he isn't prepared to go quietly. Listen up. He is ready to tell his own story. Poignant and hilarious in equal measure, August in England gives insight into the lives impacted by the injustice of the Windrush Scandal. Now, I will be speaking about some of the sensitive themes within this show and the Windrush Scandal itself, so if you'd prefer not to watch that because it's a bit too upsetting for you, then please do use the timestamps in the description below to skip ahead. I will also include some links down there for anybody who wants to know a little bit more about the scandal itself, or that just needs a little bit of support. So I can't go any further into this review without talking about Lenny Henry. Obviously he performed in the show, but he wrote the show as well, and it was his playwriting debut, and I take my hat off to him because it was raw, it was humble, it was honest. I thought his performance was so rich with charm and just joy. Like, it was so fun to watch him, and as always, he was hilarious. But what I loved was that as soon as he entered the space, he welcomed the audience in as if they were family, as if he was giving them a warm hug and we were, about to embark upon this journey with him. What he managed to achieve with this show was almost the perfect balance between the joy and humour, as well as the sensitive, more devastating topics that we see later on in the play. I think any show that touches upon true events has to be conveyed with dignity and clarity above all. Lenny Henry and the creative team, in the way that they directed it as well, really did that. I thought it was a real triumph of a show, it really was. So some of the themes that were explored within the show were race, immigration and systemic racism, but I want to focus just for a few minutes on August's experience of being deported and kind of the impact of that on the audience. It was incredibly emotional to watch, gut-wrenchingly so. We see a man who's kind of built up his life here. He's got a wonderful family who he cares for, he's got a job that he enjoys, and he's worked hard to get where he's wanted to be. Suddenly that life and his livelihood completely is taken away from him, and it's the injustice of it that I feel really hit the audience when we were watching it that day. He is treated without an ounce of respect, as if he doesn't belong, and yet he's spent 52 years living, working and loving his family in the UK. In the process of him being deported, he says the line, "Can you see me?" And I think when the stage was so bare, he was sitting on his own on a chair with CCTV cameras sort of watching him, and he said that line, I was like, wow, he seems so vulnerable. And the use of the cameras in that particular scene was really fantastic. I think it really put across how sort of demoralizing that experience can be for a person, who is being deported, and they're trying to just grasp onto anything they can to keep a sort of stable mind and to keep their life, and they just can't. It was awful. And I guess the worst part of it is that this still happens today. The videos at the end of the show which were played only reminded us of that. You know, these were very recently filmed videos of people who were black, and they had been questioned. Basically, they had to prove that they had the right to live and work in the UK. It was raw, it was completely visceral. It was an experience. The whole show felt like a very visceral experience. Above all, this story was and is relevant. Obviously, this year is 75 years since Windrush docked in Essex, and the play did show kind of how we've progressed as a society, but also how far we still have to go. So I think absolute kudos to Lenny Henry and the team for putting it together and for staging such an important story in just a very respectful way, which I think was the only way it could have been done. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to create this short but sweet video for my 30th review, and kind of share my thoughts on the play itself, because it was quite hard hitting. It was very emotional to watch, but I'm glad that I did. I think for a lot of people that may have been watching it, they will have taken something away, they will have learned something if they had no connection to Windrush itself or anybody that was affected by it. But I think there were a lot of people in there that were affected by it, and because of that, it added a different kind of weight to what we saw. I also just wanted to share a little bit of information that was in the programme. The Bush Theatre actually partnered with the Windrush 75 network, and the network helps to broaden public recognition of the contribution of the original Windrush pioneers, as well as increasing public understanding of the history of race and migration to Britain across the decades. They actually partnered with Windrush 75 to provide 750 free and discounted tickets to Windrush Generation elders from across the UK, including many in the West Midlands where the play is set. Good people doing good work. Yes! We love to see it. Makes me so happy, and I'm gonna have to end this video because I'm gonna cry. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more theatre reviews and lots of other content, and if you've seen the show yourself, then leave a little comment down below and we can have a chat about it there. But aside from that, enjoy the rest of your day and see you soon. Bye!